Do you know what can be our biggest obstacle in life? Have you thought about it? What is an obstacle that we face? Well, our biggest obstacle many times is our own self. We become our biggest obstacles. I've coached so many executives, and I find even at the highest level, executives themselves who are very successful can get into a certain pattern of thinking where they do not believe that they can achieve certain things or that their company can achieve certain things. Now, it could be because, there is a comfort level. It could be because they are, I hate to say it, lazy. Though not, though rarely, I don't find that many lazy people at higher levels. But it could also be a diffidence in their own capabilities. They do not believe in their own capabilities or their company's capabilities. And that prevents them from going out and making things happen. They don't believe themselves internally that they could do it. They become their own obstacles. Every one of us begins to form an impression of our own self. And we live within the bubble of that impression. That impression tells us what we can achieve, what we cannot achieve. But if you really talk to the true achievers, the high achievers, the people who really go out and achieve, and you ask them, did they think they were capable of achieving that? Guess what their answer is going to be? Their answer is going to be, I never stopped to think about whether I was capable or not. I just got up and did it. I just did it. I did not stop to think, right? I was relentless and I made it happen. You see, my books at the back, if somebody had told me that I was going to write 2 books when I was younger, I would have laughed. I had no idea that I was going to do it. And when I started writing my first book and I shared it, there were a couple of people who said, well, you don't know how to write a book. And that was absolutely true. I did not. Right? I had no background writing a book. In fact, I have shared this, and I have shared this before, is that when I finished writing the book was fun. It took me 8 months, my first book, and I wrote it. I thought it was the greatest book, and I gave it to my editor, and she didn't call me back for 14 days, and I was wondering why she hasn't. So I called her, and I said, did you read the book? And she said, it is a novel. And I said, yeah, I know it is a novel. I told you it is a novel. It says on the book, it's a novel. It's a business book, but it is a story. It's a parable. It is a novel. And she became quiet. And then she asked, have you written a novel before? I said, no, this is my first time, right? And then she waited a long silence, a long uncomfortable silence. And then she asked me, have you read a novel before? Have you read a novel? And in life, one of those times when you have a knot in your stomach. Yeah, and then because at that point I realized how bad what I had written was. And I share this with you is that it took me 8 months to write the book, which was fun because writing is I love writing. It took me 16 months to edit the book, which was the most excruciatingly hard thing for me. Editing a book is really, really difficult, at least was for me, because the book when I first wrote it had 100,000 words. Today, that book has only 66,000 words, and 34,000 words did not come out because I just cut off the last 3 chapters. I had to take out every one of those 34,000 words by continuously editing the book. 16 months. It was one of the hardest things I have ever done in my life. It brought me to my knees. It was that difficult. Was I capable of writing a book? Absolutely not. Have I written the book? Absolutely yes. Is it a good book? Absolutely yes. And I'm not saying that. A lot of people, a lot of top executives have said that. But that is the point is we can achieve things. We can make things happen if we don't stop to ask ourselves, are we capable of it? If we just go out and do it, and we persevere and we are relentless. Now, sometimes in life, some things are not meant to be, and no matter how hard you try, they will not become successful, and that's okay. But many times in life, our biggest obstacle is our own selves. Whether you are a top level executive or you are a student or you are somebody who takes care of the house, it doesn't matter what your profession. We all have more capability than we realize. We do not know what our true potential is. And unless we go ahead and we push ourselves, unless we try, we will not realize our potential. Do not let yourself become your own obstacle. Please think about that. Thank you. Namaste. At your core, you are peace. Be who you are. Be peace. Be peace.